how to deal with anxiety. This is something that I've actually suffered with for quite a long time, but now I've got a lot better with this. I did want to just talk about my experiences on how I got anxiety and then how I learned to deal with it. So I actually had an eating disorder in 2011, so that makes it 9 years ago now, which is so long ago. And I didn't have anxiety until I started recovering from this eating disorder. So that was like when I was noticing that I was putting the weight back on, and I was really afraid of what people were going to say about me, like, oh my gosh, she's put the weight back on, like, can you notice this on her? And obviously I was at school during the time, so it was very daunting for me, and that's what triggered my anxiety. I remember in sixth form I would literally sit in the music block on my own because I had social anxiety during school as well, which stemmed from the eating disorder, and I was just so nervous to walk past anyone that I knew that I just wanted to sit on my own because it was that bad. And obviously I was having counselling at the time, but I didn't feel like anything was really working for me. I tried counselling, I've also tried hypnosis, I've been on medication, and all of those three, I just found that I was relying on them too much. So like when I was doing hypnosis, I'd sit there and think, right, is this going to work? Because my mind was so overactive, it wouldn't work. And when I was having medication, I was just waiting for it to happen, and often it just didn't. So personally for me, I wouldn't rely on medication or counselling. I don't know, it could work for others, but for me it didn't. I feel like the only person who can help you is yourself. There are lots of things that can cause anxiety, especially drinking. Alcohol, caffeine is very bad for you in terms of getting your anxiety worse because it makes your heart rate go quicker. Also, drinking is an antidepressant, that's why you do feel more anxious when you drink. So I've actually cut out drinking a lot over the past year. I used to kind of rely on drinking when I was anxious, so I thought, oh, this would take away the pain and what I was feeling, but it didn't. It made me a lot worse. The main things I would say to help anxiety is definitely to exercise. There is no better feeling than if you're going for a walk or a run and you're in the fresh air. I definitely think exercise is better to heal your mind. I also think talking to friends and family, not spending too much time alone, because when you're alone that's when you overthink a lot. Start doing a hobby maybe, so you could, I don't know, take up swimming lessons or dancing, and read a book. That's really good. Self-help books are really good, and that's the thing that helped me the most, was reading books. It wasn't medication or hypnosis, it was actually just reading a book, because they are experiences of people in the past who have trained their mindset better. I definitely recommend doing that. You also need to go to the root cause of what's making you anxious. So it could be like, for example, some of my friends get very anxious when their boyfriend's gone on a night out or they're on holiday. You need to go to the root cause and think, why am I being anxious over someone who I am in love with, who loves me? If I didn't love them or they didn't love me, then why am I with them? Like, you have to have that trust in a relationship to not be anxious about what they do. What's the point of being with someone if you're not going to trust them and you're going to worry about them on a night out? Because if you are going to continue to feel that way, then most likely something bad is going to happen because you're creating that thought. So you need to go back to the root cause and you need to think, actually, why am I thinking about this when it hasn't happened yet? Most of the thoughts that you have that are anxious and negative, they are not real, they're just negative thoughts. So you kind of need to change those thoughts and say, oh, actually I do trust this person, I've got nothing to worry about, everything's going to be okay, I'll see him the next day, he'll speak to me, we're not going to argue, everything like this. You could also write down what is triggering your anxiety, so maybe get a book, and if it's family related or boyfriend related or work related or stress related, just keep a diary of this, and then you're more aware of when you're going to feel anxious, and you can try and prevent this. Obviously you can go out for some fresh air or just speak to a friend or a colleague just to let them know how you're feeling instead of bottling it up. Also, just try to be healthy as well. I feel like your health is so important. What you eat, what you drink is going to affect your anxiety. If you're having too much sugar, that's probably going to raise your anxiety more. I try and drink a lot of water during the day, and try not to overindulge in things, because you're going to end up feeling much worse if you do that. And yeah, try and get enough rest. Rest is so important, because if you're not sleeping enough, you are going to feel stressed and anxious. Just give yourself a break. Like, you don't have to go out with your friends if you're feeling anxious just because they want you to. Give yourself a break. Just have a nice night in on your own or with your partner, and just try and rest, because rest heals the mind. If you're not sleeping enough, then you're going to be very drained and stressed, and that's not going to help your anxiety. So if you are feeling anxious, don't do things that you don't want to do. Try and focus on your health first, whether that means staying in for a while or yeah, not seeing your friends. Then just do that. It's your life. They shouldn't have to dictate what you do. So yeah, my top tips would definitely be to exercise daily. I feel like this really helps when you're feeling anxious, because you're taking your mind off what you're thinking about. If you're exercising, even if it's a run, if it's going to the gym, join the gym. I also think you could do hobbies. So when I felt quite anxious last year, I joined a hoop class. So that's when you like do circus acts, and that really helped me through the anxious part that I was feeling, because it took my mind off it and I was obviously doing something. I also think you should be healthy eating and drinking. I don't feel like you should rely on medication, because you actually don't know what's in the medication that doctors give you, and sometimes it can make your anxiety worse. And yeah, just getting enough sleep, getting enough rest. Talk to people. If you do feel anxious, you can talk to your family and friends. They're always here for you to give you guidance. And just think, like, what you're anxious about. Is it real? Is it going to happen? And if it's not happened, then don't think about it. Just think about the present moment, and just have more faith in yourself, really, that everything's going to be okay. So I hope that you enjoyed this video today. Obviously I've suffered with anxiety a lot in the past. I used to get it a lot in my work environment, and it was very horrible, and at school as well when I had my eating problem. But now I've realised that I control my mind and I control my thoughts, and I don't let any negative thoughts come into my way. As soon as I recognise a negative thought, I think, hang on a minute, what are you doing here? You're not wanted, and I change it into the positive, and that's really helped me with anxiety. So I do hope that this helps you today, and I do hope you have a lovely week.